It's been raining like crazy where I'm from over the last few months, and that's not usual for this time of the year. The impact of burning fossil fuels has gotten bad enough to start changing global weather patterns. But the sad fact is that we're unfortunately still burning these fuels for 85% of our global energy needs, despite international pledges to the contrary. One of the main reasons for this is the intermittency of renewable energy sources, and that is where batteries come in. For renewables to be a truly viable option, we need batteries that will allow us to store excess energy generated during peak times to be used during off-peak times. Of course, batteries are nothing new, and we could theoretically still do this. I mean, we already do it all the time in small home solar UPS systems, for example. But our current batteries have some pretty big limitations that are preventing us from using them to power our grids. The good news, however, is that there have actually been an insane number of new developments in battery technology that offer hope, and that's exactly what we're going to explore in this video. 6 new types of batteries that could potentially pave the way to a renewable future. Before that though, we'll take a quick look at what properties batteries need to have to be able to power our grids, and why our currently available technologies fall short. Before we proceed, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, could I please request that you do so? We're a team that's working really hard to bring you these videos, and we need to reach 1,000 subscribers so YouTube will allow us to monetize our channel. Your support means everything to us, even if it's free. Now without further ado, let's dive in. Let's start by defining what properties batteries need to have so that they can be used to power our grids. This will help us better understand why we haven't been able to use our current batteries in order to do so. First off, batteries need to have high energy density so that they're able to store a lot of energy in a small space. Second, they need to be able to last for many years without needing to be replaced. Third, they need to be able to charge and discharge quickly so they're able to provide backup power during outages and solve the intermittency problem associated with renewable energy. And fourth, they need to be affordable to make battery-powered grids a viable option. The most popular batteries in use today are lithium-ion batteries and lead-acid batteries. Lithium-ion batteries are a type of rechargeable battery that uses lithium ions as the charge carrier. They have a high energy density and can store a lot of energy in a small space, which makes them ideal for portable devices and has also made them a popular choice for EVs. 2 main challenges, however, keep them from being deployed at scale. 1, they're extremely expensive to produce, and 2, they also require scarce elements including lithium, cobalt, and nickel to manufacture. According to research conducted by Bloomberg New Energy Finance in 2019, lithium-ion batteries must cost around $100 per kilowatt-hour to be able to compete with gasoline vehicles. But as of 2022, the batteries still cost more than 150% of this amount. Also problematic is the fact that the majority of the world's lithium reserves are located in South America, specifically in the Lithium Triangle region of Argentina, Bolivia, and Chile. This is problematic because it creates a dependence on a single region for a critical component of the batteries. Similar challenges abound for cobalt, which is the most expensive of all the metals used in lithium-ion batteries. Most of the world's battery-grade cobalt reserves are located in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where the mining of cobalt is associated with human rights abuses and child labor. Despite their challenges, however, lithium-ion batteries are still the preferred choice for energy storage, and the EV industry in particular is heavily dependent on them. As a result, a lot of efforts are currently underway to improve lithium-ion batteries and bring down their costs. Among other things, scientists are working on methods to extract lithium from seawater, as 180 billion tons of lithium are present in the oceans, and they're also experimenting with different electrodes, as in lithium iron phosphate batteries and lithium sulfur batteries, that use lithium iron phosphate and sulfur as the materials for the cathode, respectively. The second most popular type of battery currently in use is the lead-acid battery. This consists of a lead anode and a lead dioxide cathode immersed in a solution of sulfuric acid. These inexpensive batteries have been in use since 1859, when French scientist Gaston Plante first invented them. They were the first rechargeable batteries for commercial use, and are still popularly used in cars, golf carts, and UPS systems, but they have some serious drawbacks that are keeping them from powering our grids. For one, they have a low energy density, which means that a massive number of batteries would be needed to store enough energy to power a grid, making this an extremely expensive endeavor. 2, they have a high self-discharge rate and lose power over time even if they're not in use. 3, the electrolyte in lead-acid batteries is highly corrosive, which makes them a safety hazard. And 4, they have a relatively short lifespan and need to be replaced frequently, which adds to the cost of their use. Lithium-ion batteries and lead-acid batteries clearly don't check all of the 4 boxes that we identified as necessary for a battery to be able to power a grid at scale. But new developments offer hope. Let's take a look at 6 recent developments in battery technology that could make grid-scale renewable energy a reality. Silicon batteries are a type of rechargeable battery made with a silicon anode. Silicon has a very high theoretical energy density and is also the second most abundant element on Earth, which means that it is relatively inexpensive to extract and process. That said, however, it's not without its downsides. A major challenge is the fact that silicon expands significantly when it's charged, which can cause the battery to crack or even explode. It is also a poor conductor of electricity, which can reduce the efficiency of the battery. And the development of silicon batteries is still in its early stages, which means that they're currently more expensive than traditional lithium-ion batteries. Several companies, including Stila Nanotechnologies and QuantumScape, are investing heavily into the area and working on developing new silicon anode materials that are more resistant to expansion and less expensive than traditional silicon. If these challenges can be overcome, silicon batteries could have a major impact on the battery market. Sodium-ion batteries are a type of rechargeable battery that uses sodium instead of lithium ions as the charge carrier. They have a lower energy density than lithium-ion batteries, but are still a promising alternative. This is because while sodium and lithium are chemically similar elements, as sodium comes just under lithium in the periodic table, sodium is nevertheless much more abundant than lithium. Sodium-ion batteries are also less likely to catch fire or explode and have a longer lifespan than their lithium-ion counterparts. As the technology continues to develop, it is likely that these batteries will become more widely available and efficient, making them an attractive option for grid-scale storage. Flow batteries use tanks of liquid electrolytes to store energy and have a number of advantages over traditional batteries, including a high energy density that makes them well suited for large-scale energy storage applications. They also have a considerably long lifespan, typically lasting for 20 to 25 years, and can be scaled up or down to meet the specific needs of an application. But flow batteries also have a high upfront cost and a low power density, which means that they can't provide a large amount of power for a short period of time, making them less suitable for applications like EVs that require a high power output. Nevertheless, they hold promise for grid energy storage and are continuing to be investigated for the purpose. Graphene batteries are a subset of lithium-ion batteries made using graphene electrodes. Graphene is an extremely interesting two-dimensional material made of a single layer of carbon atoms arranged in a hexagonal lattice. It is one of the strongest and lightest materials known to man and has excellent electrical conductivity. Graphene batteries have a very high energy density because graphene has a much higher surface area than traditional battery materials, which allows it to store more lithium ions. Graphene batteries can also be charged faster than traditional lithium-ion batteries because graphene has a much lower internal resistance than traditional battery materials. It is also more resistant to degradation, which means that graphene batteries also have the potential to have a much longer lifespan. As with every type of battery we've discussed so far, graphene batteries also have their downsides. The biggest downside perhaps is the fact that graphene is still a relatively new material that is difficult and expensive to produce in large quantities, but if this challenge can be overcome, graphene batteries have the potential to revolutionize the way we store energy. Solid-state batteries use a solid electrolyte instead of the liquid electrolyte used in traditional batteries. Because the solid electrolyte doesn't react violently with oxygen or water, solid-state batteries are safer than traditional batteries. They're also more durable, have a much higher energy density, and can be charged and discharged much faster. While they're currently being developed for EVs, grid storage, and portable devices, solid-state batteries do need to overcome some obstacles to be truly viable for grid-scale storage. The first is cost, which will likely fall as the technology, which is still in its early stages of development, continues to evolve, while the second is the technical challenges associated with producing the batteries, including the development of methods to manufacture solid electrolytes at low cost and incorporate them into batteries in a way that doesn't degrade battery performance. The last of the 6 new developments in battery tech that we're going to take a look at today are proton batteries. Also known as proton exchange membrane batteries, these batteries use protons as charge carriers. They're a promising technology for large-scale energy storage because of their high energy density, long lifespan, and easy scalability. But they're also expensive to manufacture and have a low power density, which means that they can't provide a large amount of power for a short period of time, making them less suitable for applications like EVs that require a high power output. Overall, however, proton batteries are a promising technology for large-scale energy storage, but the cost of the batteries still needs to come down significantly before they're a viable option for most applications. That's a wrap on some promising new developments in battery technology. What are your thoughts on where this technology is headed, and how long do you think it'll take for battery-powered grids to become a reality? Let me know in the comments below. P.S. If you enjoyed this, you might also enjoy watching our video on whether hydrogen cars are ready for prime time, linked here. Thank you for staying with us till the very end. Please do like this video and subscribe to our channel. I'll see you again in the next one.